to Unsigned518. I am here with Eric and Mike of Tongue Reverend, and we played a gig last night. So if I'm and when I say we, I mean like our bands, played, and then we even after partied. And I'm a little slow today, not gonna lie.
I'm a little slow too.
So if there's stumbles or I forget shit, or that is why. And it was our fault because we knew we were playing a gig. We knew, but then we're like, let's do a podcast at fucking noon tomorrow.
We could have planned this better.
Yeah, we could have, but we did not. But anyway, what I want to do is because you were, Eric, you and Jeff were on.
Yeah.
And what was it? You said
it was like episode 26 or 27.
Yeah.
It was like almost 2 years ago,
I
think.
It's wild. And what got me thinking was you were saying how, in the 2-year anniversary thing, you did the call-in, and you were like, it was weird, like going to this podcast. We only had a couple songs out, blah, 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 and like, it was like, man, because I like just think of you as an established band now, you know what I mean? Because you've done so much, you're all over the place, like you're playing shows outside of the area, and like, so I kind of wanted to just talk, and this is Mike, your first time on the show, so but I guess I just wanted to talk about kind of what's happened in the last 2 years, and any input that you want to throw in from before the 2 years, but I just want to kind of shoot the shit about Tongue Reverend, what's happened in the last, like I said, 2 years. So. Yeah,
a lot. Let's see. We released an LP.
Mm-hmm.
We've played a bunch of shows.
Few road trips.
Yeah, few road trips, few eventful road trips in the BTR van.
With doors not staying latched.
Yeah,
highways.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So a couple weeks ago, we went down to Long Island and played a show down there. And on our way back, the driver's side door decided it would stop latching somewhere around Yonkers. So I was driving with one hand and holding the door closed with the other for like 100 miles, and it would just randomly fly open at 70 miles an hour.
And wake me up. I'd be nodding off there. I'd be going like this, and then I'd hear, I'm like, what's going on?
Door.
Oh, no, our bass player fell out.
So now when you were first on, it was just the one EP, right?
Yeah.
And then you, if I remember correct, and I mean, I do remember, I know the answer, but you basically do your own tracking and producing.
Yep.
And do you mix and master it as well? Like,
yeah, I do. So we tracked everything in my living room. And then I did all the mixing. We used like an AI mastering tool or something, because that's kind of black magic that I don't know.
Same.
It's a total art into itself.
Yeah,
like literally. And like I've been, because I don't know a ton of behind, my production, so to speak, is I edit audio or voices.
Yeah.
Like, podcasts. I'm very good at doing that and like making commercials or whatever, but like the mastering, like seeing like all the instruments laid out and like knowing how they work separately and how they'll work with the whole, and like you said, it's fucking black magic. Like I don't understand how ears work that way.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't either. I just twiddle knobs and change things until it sounds good, and I think with each thing we've put out, it's sounded a bit better.
Yeah, I think the last thing we did, Texas Doom, was probably our best sounding as far as like production wise, because we kind of had like done it probably 12 times to that point, everything we recorded. So
right.
That song was kind of interesting because that's a remix of our song Texas Freeze, where there's now like 4 different versions of that song
of, like,
that we can choose from. But
that's the one that's like down tuned.
Yeah, so we were like, what if we tuned it even lower and played it slower? And then we were just like at practice one day, and we're like, well, let's try it. And we were like, oh, fuck yeah.
Speaking of fuck, yeah, Calvin I think just got
Did you
that
just get
fly.
the fly?
I think he got
him.
that fly.
He's got him trapped under the table.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Calvin's been trying to get a fly, and I think he got him. But yeah, I like that one. And I love the taking songs that are yours that you created and being like, let's do something different with what we had.
Yeah.
Like I love that idea. And like Erie, who we just played with last night, did that with a couple songs.
Yeah, I've heard some of that. It sounds amazing.
And it's so cool to like take these rock songs and to like slow them down and turn them into something new.
And now we never play that version.
What,
Now-
the regular one or the Doom one?
The Doom one.
Right.
Now we play. We usually play. We call it Texas Jam.
Yeah,
We throw like an improv kind of jam session right in the middle
Just
of
pick
the
a
song.
key and jam it out.
yeah.
That's Mike's song to kind of go crazy.
All right, Calvin, now you're kind of annoying with the fly. Get the fuck out of here. Like, get out of here, bud. And so that one you released as a single, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was not on the proper LP.
No, we figured we wanted to do something, but we didn't have enough like for another EP or LP
Right.
or whatever. So we just did that. But we are hopefully gonna hit the living room again.
This summer.
Yeah. So we've got enough material that we're gonna do another LP, and this time we've been able to, because last time we recorded our LP, All Them Have Fangs, we hadn't even played a show yet.
Right.
So some of those songs ended up kind of morphing a little bit.
Yeah.
But this time we've been able to road test pretty much everything.
And I love it's like super inspiring that, like when you're like, oh, we're hitting the living room, like that's to me, like, because when you hear your songs, like the EP, the LP, they sound absolutely like they were in a recording studio and done with like a team, or whatever. And just the fact that you're doing it yourself, literally in a living room, is so anybody listening, if you want to start making your own music, there's nothing stopping you.
Right.
We spent so much time, like, in the small amount of time we had to record them, we spent so much time just, like, redoing tracks to kind of get the sound the way we wanted to, that, like, I don't think any of us, like, picked up an instrument for, like, 2-3 weeks after we got
Right.
done. Like,
Then
it was
you just find.
I didn't want to look at my amp or guitar. Just, like, get away from me.
Yeah. And then I had to like mix it for like weeks. And then like when it was finally done, I was like, I don't want to hear these songs for a month.
Right. And I don't think people understand, like, doing that, like doing it yourself, how like familiar with the songs you become, because you're listening to the same literal like second, like 1 second, 2 seconds over and over and over and over, and then you move on to the next couple of seconds, and
Yeah.
like then you listen to it as a whole, then you pick it apart and back to seconds, and it's like you get to know the songs. People, I guess, don't realize, like, as artists, like, by the time a song is done and they're hearing it, you guys are like not sick of it, but you're like,
By that point, you've already heard it a few hundred times.
Yeah.
You probably played it a few hundred times in practice just alone. So
yeah,
it's like,
by the time anybody hears it for the first time, you're like, we've put hundreds of hours into this stuff,
Yeah.
So that's a wild thing, and I think that's a cool way to approach it, and it also, you don't have to worry about not time like to do it, but like timing. You're like, all right, the three of us are ready to do it.
Right.
Let's do it. You don't have to. All right, the three of us are ready to do it. Let's try to find a place to do it, and an engineer, and this,
Yeah.
So it's fucking true
Yeah.
DIY, and I dig that.
Yeah, it gives us a lot of freedom.
Right.
And we're kind of, I don't know, as a band, we kind of just do everything ourselves. Like, I make our shirts.
Right.
That's just kind of our style.
Yeah, and I do want to. We will talk about the video, because I do want to talk about
Definitely
the video. But I think we should play a tune right now. What do you want to play?
Yankee?
Yeah, let's play Yankee.
All right, cool. So let's play Yankee, and then we'll be right back to talk some more with Tongue Reverend.
shaking the walls of my future grave. Living now, but won't be living much longer. But I'll make damn sure they remember my name.
That was Yankee, Black Tongue Reverend, and like I was saying before, I wanted to talk about the video because it led to like a bunch of things. It was cool. I was an extra on the set or whatever for a scene, which was my big break. But it was really cool watching the whole setup of how the video was shot, and it was like George was just the one man guy, but like we went through the whole thing. But I want to, I guess, talk about who came up with the concept of the video, like how the process went into before you shot the video, I guess. So
yeah, that would be Eric.
Yeah, I came up with a concept. So it was for the song Relapse. We filmed it down at El Dorado Bar in Troy. They were super nice, gave us like the run of the place for like 8 hours or something on a Sunday before they opened. Really talented filmmaker, George Paul, goes by Daydreaming Camera.
Yep.
Did the video for us, and I think I came up with the concept of me, you guys, so Mike and Jeff being like coworkers and me being kind of like a drunk asshole. But then I think you guys twisted the concept and were like, well, what if we don't like you and we just get you drunk to like laugh at you.
Bully you into getting drunk.
Yeah. So that was kind of the entire concept of the video. I was kind of dorky. I had like a bow tie and a ponytail and stuff. And yeah, they proceed to just like ply me with beers.
Well, the song is called Relapse, so
Right.
it's like, what if instead of just being a drunk, you come in the video, you're trying to be well and put together, but these two assholes off to the side here just can't leave it alone.
Yeah, poking you and poking you.
Yeah. It's kind of a darkly humorous song.
Right. And I love like in the beginning when Mike, you and Jeff are like talking shit, and you're like, "Did you see that ponytail?" I'm like, I know, what a nerd. I'm like, yeah. And working with George, like, did he throw a ton of like input in with like the storyline?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I sat down with him a couple times and like we planned everything out pretty much shot by shot. And then it kind of all went out. Some of it kind of went out the window on the day of actual filming because everything got discombobulated.
Right.
So we ended up improvising some stuff. We were supposed to have more extras, and we only had a few.
Yeah, that's tough. That's the tough part about it. That's why when we did ours, I made sure that I had a bunch of people that weren't extras, but that had like roles. So I'm like,
Yeah.
you have to be here. Like, you have to be here. So don't say yes unless you're ready to commit all day.
I know. I feel bad because you sat around like all day, and you only ended up in like a 1 second shot.
That's fine. It's fine. Like I said, for me, it was interesting to be because the whole time I was there, like watching you guys film the shots, like I've always loved like the shooting video and it was cool how he was doing like the coloring of the scenes and like lighting the scenes. So like even though I was only in it for a bit, like I wasn't just sitting around bored. Like I was like, man, this is really fucking cool. And that's when I asked George, if, hey, what would it take to do one of our videos?
Right.
And then we rolled into that. Like,
Yeah. So then. Yeah, you met George, and then that's how you guys did your video.
Yeah, which you were.
I was
were
an extra in.
Yeah, yeah.
That was really fun.
That was fun, and like it was the same. Like George, it put a lot of input in, but a lot of the times, like there was shit that didn't make sense, and I would just be like, "Nah, leave it in." And he's like, "But you've got members of the band on stage," and he's like, "And then when we go to the crowd, the members of the band are in the crowd." And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Like, and he's like, but it doesn't make sense.
He's
No,
pretty
I know.
meticulous.
I know.
But he's like really good at thinking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it was like the same thing though, because I was like, we don't have enough people to so like everybody in this scene. It was like, but they're the band. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let them be in the scene. But yeah, that was super fun. And I'll throw a link in the show notes to the video so that people can go check it out because I think it's pretty fucking funny.
It turned out really good, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It was fun overall experience doing it.
Yeah, and it looks so well shot. You know what I mean? Like when you first see that opening scene of you walking in in front of the Eldorado, you're just like, damn, that's a good looking video.
And I think we shot that the day after our gig too.
Yeah.
I think that actually was the Rat Den we played the night before.
Yeah, we played in a living room in Albany the night before, and then I got home and my boiler had broken, and it was February, so I had no heat. I was up till like 3 a.m. trying to fix it, and I couldn't fix it, and then had to get up early in the morning and schlep over to Troy for a whole day of
like
filming.
10, what were it, 9 or 10 in the morning?
Yeah, it was like 9 a.m.
Yeah. Oof. So, all right, we're at this point. We've got the EP out. We've got the LP out. We've just made a video. What would you say, like, I guess, what would be another big moment or a moment where you were like, hey, like, we're fucking doing this, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
It's probably this because right now it still feels all kind of new,
Right.
Like, but just as more we've played more shows and like how you've gotten more crowd responses and like we've gone out to places and play with other bands and to see like how like we start playing and you see people from everywhere kind of just gravitate towards the stage and it's like maybe we got something here.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, even last night there was, I know, a bunch of 518 musicians that I was talking to that were there at the show, and several of them were like, these guys fucking kind of rock, like even Carm Grasso. I don't know if you've ever seen his shit, and if you haven't, you should check it out after. He fucking shreds on guitar, and he had to put a video up of you shredding on guitar. So I think it's, musicians recognize talent. So like,
and it's still very like, it's weird like hearing people like getting like appraisal, like people like, oh, you're good and whatnot, because it's like, don't really feel that way to somebody.
Yeah.
Up here playing some notes,
It's like, and I mean, this is just like my personal experience, but like I have like imposter syndrome a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep,
like
definitely.
when I'm up there playing, I'm like, at some point somebody's gonna be like, you're
Yeah.
not very good. Like
I always get this paranoia that I'm out like being Truman showed. That's like my biggest fear. Like one day the cameras are all just gonna come out and be like, we got you.
psych.
You suck. You thought you were good.
Yeah. And play, like, speaking of like good, like as someone who like plays bass or whatever, like watching you, the way you can play and the way you can play and sing, and they're not the same thing, to me again makes you elevated in like your talent, because I'm like watching you play those fucking riffs and singing along with them. I'm like, I probably couldn't do that.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I have to write around my somewhat limited ability to do that. We've definitely like done songs where I wrote words to it and then I go to try to sing it,
And you're like,
and
"Fuck."
it's like I can't do this.
Right. Well, I mean, the ones that you got, like, certainly, because when I like play and sing, I'm always playing as a acoustic guitar player, like, because that's that was my main instrument for 30 years. Like, I didn't pick up the bass until, I don't know, I mean, on and off, I like played the bass, but I always just play it like a guitar player, like I can't get the doing the bass lines and singing them. I'm just doing as if I'm playing an acoustic guitar, which is always singing in rhythm,
Well, what do you mean? I mean, you sing and play in shortwave.
Yeah, but it's different. Like, I'm not doing like riffs or bass lines per se. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I'm doing notes. Like, I'm playing as if I was playing an acoustic guitar. Like acoustic guitar, you're singing and keeping the 4/4 beat with the or whatever. So like to do riffs and sing to me blows my fucking mind because I can't do it.
I think like part of like it's kind of my fault as a riff writer too, like because I give him riffs that are kind of like that because I grew up so like long not playing with anyone, so like no drummer, so I just play very percussively, so like there's a lot of riffs that are just, it's a lot of notes in there and percussive, and like he's got to kind of, he can't just play root notes the whole time, so he tries to mix it up and whatnot, but then you got to sing over it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm a root note player, like that, because that's like what I know. So like it impresses me when bass players can fucking riff it up and be, doing the thing and then throwing in the singing. I'm like,
I think also it's a 3-piece too. Like we need to, it's
Right.
got to be able to fill that space out, because if you just keep it too simple as a 3-piece, and it's gonna be kind of a little bland, so
Yeah.
to speak.
which is why, like, because we were originally a 3-piece with, me, Lonnie, and John, and we were like, we're limited. We need another guitar player, and that's why we brought in Ryan and Abby.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to each.
Right.
It definitely, having more instruments helps you have a fuller sound.
Sure.
But then it can encroach on your like freedom a little bit.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and anybody who's a musician listening, like, it's cool to get, different arrangements that aren't just your typical, like, bass, rhythm guitar, lead guitar, drums, done. Like, you know, having, like you said, a 3-piece and having to fill that same space sonically with just 3 instruments and pulling it off is a feat, you know. So I mean, I guess at this point we should probably listen to another tune. Did you have a second one in mind?
Yeah, let's listen to Relapse because we talked about the video.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, so we'll like I said, I'll put in the show notes the link to the video and obviously to your Spotify page to check out all that. Is there anything that you want to say about the tune before we roll?
After playing it almost for 2 years live now, kind of wish we recorded it a little faster.
Yeah. Yeah. When we went to do the video, like we had been playing it for a little while, and you know, you have to mime the performance shots, right? And we started trying to play along with it, and we kept getting ahead of it and like having to start over. And we're like, wow, yeah, we really sped this one up.
Yeah. Well, that's the way to do it. I love playing songs as fast as we can. Like, that's my pocket. Anyway, let's listen to Relapse, Black Tongue Reverend, and then we'll be right back to wrap it up.
Tell me your story.
That was Relapse, Black Tongue Reverend. Of course, you can go see the video on YouTube, and I'll link to it in the show page. So, Mike, Eric, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your morning after such a long and rough night last night. And, it really is, I really appreciate it. And before we go, I just want to give you both a chance to say what I refer to as your gratitude. So, Eric, if you want to start.
Yeah, so I'm not going to make the same mistake that I made last time I was on the show. First, I need to thank my lovely wife for putting up with my antics and being extremely supportive and acting in our music video.
Yeah.
And
she slapped you in the face.
And just being great all around. And after that, you for everything that you do.
Thanks, man.
Keep bringing us on shows and helping us out in any ways you can, and doing the same for a ton of people in the 518 scene. We got a good thing going here.
Yeah, I just have to thank my my fiance Jennifer for putting up with the shenanigans and buying more gear, because I can never be happy with what I have, and then all the 518 community, the bands we played with over the past 2 years, however long it's been, and even the bands outside, you guys, Gozer, who we played with a lot, Twilight Drive, who we're playing with next weekend, Saturday at Nola, and then just everyone in general. It's been a wild ride.
Yeah, I think it's going to get wilder.
I'm here for it.
Sweet. All right. Well, Mike, Eric, Black Tongue Reverend, I am Andy Scullin. This is Unsigned518. I'll see you on the road. Unsigned518 is produced and hosted by me, Andy Scullin. New episodes are available every week wherever you stream podcasts. If you would like to help support the show, please like and subscribe wherever you are listening. Or you could buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/unsigned518. If you would like to advertise on the show, send me an email at unsigned518@gmail.com. And to be a guest on the show, reach out to me through Instagram at unsigned518. Take care of one another, and I'll see you next week.